it's Erica back on the Altenew YouTube channel. Hello! And today I thought we'd have some fun with this fun little envelopes die set. I couldn't resist a little pun on those, on that word, you know. In this die set, you have a bunch of cute little envelope dies, and there's also like the inserts, which I had actually removed. On the back, there's some color inspiration. There are even like little envelopes, like stamps. There's little hearts, and each one of these envelopes have got the score lines on them. So all you gotta do is fold them, and if you want to get really crisp and sharp like folds, use a bone folder and just, you know, drag that along the score line. It will help your die cut pieces also stay together better. So even though you're gonna glue them, if you use a Teflon bone folder or something like that, it will give you a much sharper cut or fold, and then it would just look nicer and tidier, like overall. So what you can do here is just play around and have some fun with different colors, and then, you know, grab yourself a cute little glue bottle like this one here, and add a little bit of a dab of glue here and there. Now, if you want to add some colorful inserts to the envelopes, you are going to need to glue them into the envelope before you glue it together. Unless you're really good with placing your glue and you don't get it on the inside, so it's all going to kind of stick together. But I am going to go ahead and fold all of these. We are probably not going to use every single one of these, but I have this thing where I get a new die cut set that I just die cut far too many pieces. Sometimes I don't even have an idea. I just kind of let my creativity have a little play, and I don't even think about it too much. I just kind of die cut some pieces out. I look how they kind of feel and how they look together, and then, you know, just kind of have some fun with it. I think it's really important to allow yourself to have fun with your crafting stuff rather than just kind of be in the zone of like, I must make something every single time. That just kills your creativity. So don't put that pressure on yourself. No. But I am going to wrap up here with these last little bits. Now I will be placing these under my work mat so that they will stick together as they are drying. It doesn't take long for this glue to sort of cure, but it's always better to leave it to dry for a little bit longer. Now I had a fun idea. So first my idea was like, I need to cut out a bunch of hearts, and I was going to ink blend these. And then I thought, you know, we can have some fun with this. So I thought, well, let's make a background, and then we're going to fill these hearts, not by doing like inlay die cutting. We are going to just add colored cardstock to the back of this, and just to add like a pop of color. However, once I tried this, I'm like, we can do this better. Yes. So I decided to cut little strips of the cardstock so that each row of 3 hearts will be the same color, but each kind of cluster of them will be 2 colors. And I thought this would just add a little bit more kind of funness and freshness to the background. Now, if you wanted to die cut all of these hearts out of the colored cardstock and then kind of puzzle them in, by all means do that. I think this will give you the same kind of look, but with a lot less hassle, because you are going to need to remember where every one of those little hearts kind of came from, because they only need to be off by like a tiny little millimeter, and it's just not going to look quite right. Whereas with this technique, you got fun, great, fresh results in a fraction of the time. So do this. Definitely do this. Yes. Now, I'm wanting to add a little sentiment here with the scripted sentiment die set, and sending love just seemed to make the most sense. So I'm also going to be using some of the leftover cardstock from the scraps on the back of this, just to kind of keep things very cohesive, because I do like to keep things somewhat in color line. I mean, I have a very kind of wild and textured and very unplanned crafting style. But when it comes to colors, I do like them to be somewhat cohesive. So, you know, that's probably the only thing about my crafting that is very always the same. And embellishments, because I always take it to Bling Town. It's just one of those things that I do. But I have die cut here, Sending Love, out of pink and white cardstock. And I've used a couple of different shades of the pink because, again, we got all of those fun shades on the background. So why not for the sentiment as well? I have also cut out an extra few pieces of the shadow part because we are going to layer this baby up. Or these babies even. Yes. And here, that liquid glue is going to come in so handy again. Now, I did think that I had lost the little dot on the eye, so I cut out another one, only to find it mid die cutting. But oh well, better to have 2 dots than not enough dots. So there we go. Now I'm going to be using my Altenew tweezers to hold my little piece while I'm adding my glue, and then we're going to gently press this down onto our little shadow part to cape. No, we're not going to cape anything. We are going to keep things where they are supposed to go. And we are also going to, as I said, we're going to layer these up with 2 pieces of cardstock that I've used die cut for as well. So they're going to be nice and solid and have some height. And it's just one of those things that it adds like a little something nice, right? It's such a tiny little thing to do. And, you know, I get that it's easy to kind of forget about this, but it does add something very, very nice to kind of giving that solid raised sentiment. Now, if you prefer to use instant dimension foam tape, you do you. I am just here to kind of get your inspiration going. But so here is one card. Almost done. Don't worry. We're going to come back. We're going to bling this up because, you know, we can't have it without bling, can we? Now, these are the colors I'm going to be using for the next card. Now, if you wanted to see exactly which colors these are, I suggest you pause right now and write those down. And we are going to cut out the insert bits for these white ones. We're also going to do all of the actual envelope bits. We're going to do some hearts and we're going to do some stars. We're going to do all of the stars. We're going to do all of the hearts. We're going to do so many of these. Because again, I have 0 willpower to stop myself. And I figured while I was on a roll, you know, get it with the die cutting machine? Roll. Yeah? No? I'm going with it. I figured, why not? Because I have a couple of ideas for some of these stars and the hearts with such a small but mighty die set. I'm like, ooh, I have some ideas and I cannot wait to show you, but it's going to have to wait for another time because we are already halfway through this video and we're coming on to like 9 minutes now. So we're going to stay focused-ish anyway. So we're going to continue die cutting out all of these bits and pieces. So we've got 7 different colors. And it's, of course, a bit of a rainbow. We're just missing red, I think. Because I'm not really... I kind of like the pastel-y bright rainbows rather than the traditional kind of primary color rainbows. So this is like my rainbow, yeah. So with these little envelopes, we are going to just take the insert bit and we're going to add that to our little envelopes. So some of these I managed to actually glue so that they didn't stick together completely. And some I did have to like rip open a little bit. And then I thought, you know what, instead of potentially ruining some of these envelopes, I'm just going to die cut out some more. So yes, even though you must think I am an absolute lunatic. And yes, I will agree with you. Options are good, right? Options are good. And also, I learned something along the way. Which is, if you want the colored inserts, or if you want the inserts in your little envelopes, it is definitely better to add them before you glue the whole thing together. Yes. So, you know, now you know. Now you know. So don't do what I have done, definitely do as I say. I think that goes for like pretty much every single video I do. Don't necessarily always do as I do in the video, because I will be telling you what I went wrong, or what went wrong and what didn't work out, so that you don't have to make those mistakes yourself. But we are almost finished with our little slew of rainbow envelopes. Are they really rainbow envelopes if they've only got the color inside? Well, we're gonna go with it. So we are going to need a background, of course, and I fell in love with the vintage motif. Oh, it's so stunning. I mean, look at it. So pretty. Ooh. Now, mine is actually broken, so if you look in the right sort of left-hand corner-ish, one of the little kind of flourishes is missing. So what we're going to do is we're not going to ink blend over the entire card panel. No. We are going to use some silver rock. No, hang on. Silver stone. And we're going to kind of, it's going to be a little bit of an ombre, which again, I know. One trick pony. Yay, nay, me, I know. But it does look so good. And the reason I wanted to go very soft with this ombre is so that that little mistake in the top is not going to show. And also, we are going to cover that sort of whitish part with our envelopes anyway. So, you know, it doesn't matter. But now we're going to take our colorful envelopes, and what we're going to do is we're going to arrange them in sort of like a bit of an arc. Or is it arch? Arch. So in a bit of an arch over our card front here. And then we are going to get ourselves that little sentiment, and we are going to just glue all of this down. And with that, our card is done and finished. Bye. No, I'm kidding. So we are going to take all of these, and then what we're going to do is, because they are quite bulky, some of them we're going to glue down with the liquid glue. Some of them we're going to raise up with some instant dimension foam tape. Now for this card, I'm thinking we're just going to go very simple with hello. We're going to do that in a black and a white. So we're going to have a white shadow part, and we're going to have a black hello, the actual word, so that it stands out quite nicely. This we are, of course, going to be cutting out with our die cutting machine. And with this one, I will be using instant dimension foam tape rather than cutting out extra bits and pieces. Even though you can see on that little strip there probably was enough space to cut out at least one, if not two more. But we are going to be versatile and all round, using all the products. So here we're going to take some of the skinny 1/8 of an inch. Or is it 1 inch? Or is it a quarter? The skinny one. Anyway, foam tape, and we're going to add a little bit of that to the back. We're going to take off the backing tape. We're going to put this down. So now this is glued down, and now we're going to take our liquid glue. We are going to secure some of the sort of the bottom layers of the envelopes. And then some of the top ones, we are going to add a little bit more instant dimension foam tape to them, so that we get all of them kind of on different layers. So we want texture, we want layers, we want dimension, we want it all, don't we? On a couple of this, so the green one here, you might have noticed that I actually used a little bit of cardstock leftovers, because I didn't want it to be completely raised up like on the same level, because I wanted my blue one to be higher. So sometimes you just have to kind of puzzle with some leftover cardstock instead of using your foam tape. So you can see here I'm doing the same thing with my pink one, and you won't be able to tell once you actually have the card in your hand, unless somebody decides to kind of take it apart. But then, you know, if they're on that kind of a mission, then maybe just step back and let them do it. Like, don't ask questions. So this is the final placement of our envelopes. So we have a nice, bright, very layered, very textured card. And then we have our cute little sending love card. And at this point, I'm like, I could leave it like this. I could, couldn't I? But we are not going to do that. No. They just needed a little something, right? A little something bling bling. And I thought that the pearl dots in satin gold would be just the perfect thing for the envelope card. Now, I will say, if I had these in the satin silver, or in satin silver, I think that would be even better, because that will go so well with that background. But, you know, sometimes you just have to use what you have. And even I was looking through my enamel dots and thinking, if I had something like in a light gray, that would look really cool too. But the size of the smallest one of the pearl dots was kind of perfect, because it just gives that little something without being too much. Now, on this pink card, it was either going to be pink tourmaline or rhodonite. And I decided to go for the rhodonite, because this, we got the, what is it, four or five different shades of the pink. And I thought it would be really nice to use all 3 of the shades of pink in this Gems sparkle set as well. So that's what I did. I mean, I not usually want to hold back using the bling, and I didn't this time either. But I think it works. And I mean, if you can't add a little bit of bling and sparkle on a card that way you're sending love, when can you? Honestly, yes. So this is our 2 cards finished. So we have used the same die sets. So the 2 different die sets, the fun little envelopes and the scripty sentiments. And we have 2 very different cards. I really hope you've enjoyed these cards and the making and this video. And I will be back very soon again with another video. But for now, it is bye from me.
Hey there, Lydia here. I really do hope that you've just enjoyed the video. If so, please subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you can get your daily dose of crafty techniques and tutorials just like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.